All right, I'm gonna check to make sure these are right. Got these today. I've been waiting on these for like a week. These are heavy. Nice. So at first glance, they look right to me. On this particular Civic, the rack and pinion is up higher than on most cars. Most cars, the knuckle will attach to this portion and the tie rod will be down here. But on this particular Civic, the tie rod's up higher, so the area where the tie rod bolts down to the mechanism that pulls it back and forth is on the strut instead of on the knuckle. So, but these look right at first glance. So I'm gonna start digging into it, and you know, as I pull the old one out, I'll compare them and make sure that they're correct, and hopefully it'll go smooth. Let's get to it. All right, we start by taking the wheel off. So this is a 2003 Honda Civic. What we're doing, the strut is actually broken on this one. So what we're gonna do is take the strut out of both fronts and replace those so that we can drive the car safely, and also so I can teach my roommate how to drive a stick shift. The plan with this car was actually I was going to purchase it and work on it secretively for my roommate and surprise her for Christmas with the gift of a new car. She currently drives a Civic, a 98 Civic that's falling apart. It needs a rack and pinion, it needs a million things, and it barely runs, it barely starts. So I just felt like, you know, to help my roommate out, what I would do is buy this car, sneak it in here. Me and my partner in the YouTube channel, his name is Tyler, I was gonna have him help me do some service to it. We had bigger plans for it. We were gonna lower it, we were gonna put some nice wheels on it, we were gonna do a little bit of, you know, like whatever maintenance needed to be done and some aesthetics, maybe like a lip kit or something like that, lower it down like I said. But it didn't work that way because our other car, the alternator went out. So in the process of buying this car, basically the same day that I was purchasing the vehicle, she told me her alternator quit working on her. So unfortunately, I had to give her the car early. So she's already seen it at this point. She already knows what it looks like. She already knows it's a manual transmission, but she doesn't know I'm working on the struts. So I'm gonna knock this out, and hopefully I can surprise her with a working vehicle when she gets back. So anyway, like I said, we start with taking the wheel off. So this is the strut. Here's the tie rod. We gotta disconnect this tie rod. There's two bolts right here. These are pinch bolts that connect to the knuckle that we have to take apart. And then there's a couple bolts up top, 3 of them, I think, or 4, 3 on this one. Yeah, there's 3 on this one. And then it basically pops right on out of there and put a new one in. It's pretty straightforward, so we're gonna get to that. Well, that's a problem. Everything fits perfectly except this bolt here. It doesn't want to fit in. I don't know if it's the paint. I don't think it's the paint. I tried to, if you look close, you can see I tried to hit it with an impact gun and just screw it through there, hoping it was just paint, but it's not paint. So I'm going to have to kind of take a little material off both of these, upper and lower, so that those bolts fit. I don't know why it's like that. Everything else matches perfectly. I mean, you can see, let's see if I can move the light so it's not so bad. But you can see the tie rod fits where it's supposed to go. See? And then if you look here, there's a little bracket for the brake hose here. And then back here, there's a bracket for the ABS wire, and it's all in the same exact place. You know, I bolted up top. Everything's looking good up here too. So not really sure why it's like that, but I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna make it work. Okay, what I have here is a step bit. This is very useful. If you don't have one of these, you should. I'll give you a close-up on it. Basically, the way this thing works is has different steps. And as it drills through something, it gets wider and wider. And this works perfectly for a situation like this. So I've already went ahead and let's see if I can get the camera angle right there. I already went ahead and I drilled out, widened out these holes. So normally this is something you don't want to have to do, but because I did this and this vehicle doesn't have factory camber adjustments, usually you have to get some kind of aftermarket suspension that has some way of adjusting the caster, and the caster is basically how the rotor sits or the wheel sits. You know, if it's, this is going to be, or not caster, I'm sorry, I meant to say camber. This is camber that we're trying to deal with here when I'm talking about this, but basically this right here, you know, is a whole bunch of positive camber, and then if it went in, it'd be a whole bunch of negative cambers. So when we widen these holes, that gives us a little bit of room to adjust the camber on the alignment rack. So if we were going to lower this vehicle, it naturally cambers in when you lower it. So when you put it on the alignment rack, if you have oblong holes here, you can loosen these and you can pull it back out and tighten it back up, and that'll give you more of a straight up and down camber situation if that's what you're after. A little bit of negative camber is actually not a bad thing, especially if you're hitting corners at high speeds. So I don't think we'll really be worrying about it, but the option is there, and that's a good thing. You know, if we lower it too much, the camber will be super far in, and then we have a little bit of ability to pull it back out. And if we need more, we just can make these holes a little bit bigger, and then we can yank it out this way and get it where it needs to be. There it is, back on the ground. Brand new struts. That was pretty quick. It probably took me about 30 minutes, and that's with dealing with filming This is new to me. I'm doing the best I can. I'm probably not very professional, but like I said, I'm just doing the best I can. So we're starting up this channel. We're gonna see where it goes. You know, I'm assuming I'm going to improve as we move forward, but for now, this car is done. I'm gonna back it out and we're gonna get on to the Cobalt. That's what's next.